All right, we're finally back doing our two card review. It's been a little while since we've done it. I've just been traveling a lot, I've been really busy, but I'm excited to get back into this. Today we're covering two cards, and one I I see recommended all the time in decks. Like I see it a lot in decks, and I understand the argument for it, but I still don't use it at all. Which is well, we'll get into what that is in a second. And the other one is a aggression ally that is, I feel like, a good card. It doesn't get used as much as I normally would, but like it's not like amazing, but it's good. It finds its way in the decks, but maybe not with a certain ally anymore. But yeah, let's cover those two cards. Before we jump into the video, make sure you do me a huge favor. Scroll down, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you know when the new video comes out, like this one. Hit the like button and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts about these cards. Let's go check them out. People recommend this card in decks all the time. Like I see it all the time. And the argument is that usually when you're playing, you end up with like a dead card in your hand. And if this is the dead card in your hand, then the next hand cycle, right, you'll get +1 to your hand size. So assess the situation as a zero cost event. Action, you get +1 hand size until the end of the phase. So after you use all your cards and assess the situation's last one, let's say your normal hand size is 5, you would draw up to 6 instead. Yeah, okay, I get that argument. I do. I never feel like this makes sense for any deck I have, right? And the main reason is because I don't think I've ever gotten with. I don't think I've ever gotten to the point in a deck where I have thought as I was deck building, they meant like, 37 cards or whatever. And I go, man, I could really use like 3 more cards in this deck. Like I always have the opposite problem where I have like 48, 49 cards. I was like, oh, I need to start trimming some cards out, right? That's my issue with this game. And I've never had it the other way around. So maybe if I did, I would put this card in more, but I never do, right? And to me, I do want to be as efficient as possible, even though I'm never as efficient as I should be. But I want to be as efficient as possible to get this stuff in there and to make sure I could play all the cards. Like if I feel like I'm planning to have a dead card, then it works out poorly because then I have to have a deck that's built with a certain number of cards that would equal to this card being used, but then you just use it as a resource. I don't know. Like it feels weird. And I see that, like I said, I see this card creeping up more and more in decks on Marvel CDB where they do this and and the argument's fine, right? I get the argument that helps you out the next round, whatever. I don't want to use the space for this card. So anyway, this is one of those ones I want to know down in the comments what you think. Let me know. Do you use this card? Do you like this card? And again, it's not that I'm anti this card. I've used it every now and again, but generally speaking, I don't use it a ton. The other card I want to talk about is, I'm sorry, I should also mention that was the last card from the Ant-Man pack. We are now moving on to the Wasp pack. The first card I want to talk about from the Wasp pack is the Jane Foster Thor Aggression Ally. It's a 4-cost ally, 1 thwart with 1 consequential damage, 2 attack with 2 consequential damage, and 4 life. It's Asgard Avenger. It has a response. After you play Thor from your hand, deal 2 damage to the villain, 3 damage instead if you pay for this card using a fist resource. I actually don't mind this card. The 4-1-2-4 stat line's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. To me, what makes sense is you're probably going to be using fist resources or strength resources in most of your aggression deck. So you should be able to get 3 damage paid onto the villain. And the one thing that's nice about this is because it's a response. After you play Thor from your hand, deal 2 damage or 3 damage to the villain. Your dealing damage is not an attack, so if they have a retaliate or something like that, you're not going to get hit with the retaliate on it, which is really nice. So I really like this card for that. Now, the issue that I'm seeing more nowadays is a lot more villains are coming in with tough, and we haven't covered it yet, so I won't go into great detail about it, but the Wolverine ally card has kind of replaced this card, in my opinion, just because you can start piercing things. As far as like burst damage right away, right? Thor, Jane Foster can come out swinging for 5, essentially, if you pay for it using a strength resource. So like that's pretty good, and then being able to use it 2 more rounds and then as a blocker, that's what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage total, and then a blocker for 4 costs. Really good value. I really like this card. I just don't use as much as I probably should. So I like it. It's a little expensive. If you're running an Avenger deck, hopefully they start putting more into Asgard stuff eventually, so you can run like a cool Asgard deck with her. I don't see this card being used in as many decks anymore. Like it was when she first came out. I feel like it was used quite a bit, but we have so many options now that doesn't always 100% make sense because she is just a bit expensive. But if you get the full, like if you use everything with her, right, all the attack and whatever, it actually, I think the math works out pretty good. So anyway, I like this card. Let me know your thoughts about this card and assess the situation down below. Once again, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed these 2-card reviews. I'm happy to be doing them again. We're going to be going through a lot of them. So like I said, do all the stuff down below. You know what it is. Thank you all for your support, and I'll see you all next time.